Alright guys, today I wanted to make a video on the potential transfer of Raphinha to Barcelona. So here is today's report. Barcelona are ready to make an offer worth up to £60 million for Leeds United winger Raphinha, aged 25, in a bid to beat Chelsea to the Brazil international's signature. That is from the Times. So yeah, right. So if this is to happen, I have a few questions. First of all, are Barcelona not supposed to be like financially crippled and literally trying to hang on to every single penny they can get? I mean, there's talk about they don't want Frankie de Jong to leave for Man United, but they don't really have much choice because they're that desperate for the money. But then they're being linked to £60 million signings for Raphinha. And there have been other players they've been linked to as well. I can't remember them off the top of my head. Obviously, Lewandowski. And yeah, that just makes very little sense to me. And you can see why they are struggling so much financially, because it's almost like they've trying to give something up every time they start doing well. So it's something like just dangles in front of them and just like causes them to fail. But yeah, from Leeds' point of view, I don't think they need to sell because they're a reasonably well run club. And also there's talk about Calvin Phillips going to Manchester City now, and apparently a fee's been agreed and medical is supposed to happen over the coming days. So that I don't think Leeds are going to be a team who particularly need to sell, because they've spent about 45 million so far this window, and they'll make all of that back from Calvin Phillips' sale. And if they sell Raphinha, okay, that brings in more money, which is good. But they are losing arguably their best player. Their best player that season, definitely. And will definitely need to replace him, which is going to be tough to do, with little time to scout players and eventually try and sign them. So I personally can't see this happening anytime soon. I think it might be a case of then again, it would make more sense for Leeds to just make their mind up now whether they want to sell him, so then they do get the chance to try and bring in a replacement. But I wonder if they are going to stall on it a little bit, and that would be definitely the wrong decision if they are to eventually sell him, because you are leaving yourself a little time. I can't see both Phillips and Raphinha going is the problem, to be honest, because unless Leeds get some ridiculous fees, because they are two massively important players to Leeds' system. We saw that with Phillips, being injured for the majority of last season, and how badly that affected Leeds. It took them from a solid mid-table team to a team that were very close to being relegated. So if they were to lose both players, that is a ginormous risk, and it would be bit of massive risk, because you're effectively replacing your two best players with two fairly unknown and untested players in the Premier League in Roca and Brendan Aronson, two new signings who have never really played at the highest level. Aronson certainly hasn't. Roca, you could sort of argue, has at Bayern Munich, but he got very limited game time. And also, I think it was Espanyol he was at before Bayern Munich, so he got a sight of what the La Liga's like. But I don't think either league are quite the Premier League. So, yeah. In terms of in a bid to beat Chelsea, well, you've also got to think, would Raphinha want to go to Barcelona? Because they're not going to be wanting to pay high wages because of, they're constantly trying to get their players to cut out wages, like MTT, PK, Jordi Alba, Busquets. They've all they've all been asked to lower the amount of money they're on. So yeah, and with Raphinha, with Chelsea and Arsenal also apparently being interested in him, surely they're better, options than Barcelona because, well, maybe not Chelsea, but well, then again, Chelsea have sort of secured their future now, haven't they? With Chelsea and Arsenal, you're guaranteed to, know you're joining a club that aren't having financial problems right now. They're sort of Arsenal are definitely on the up at the moment. Chelsea are, they're for the past few years they've comfortably been the third best team in the league, but they're not sort of going up or down. They're sort of just drifting, sort of. They're not now. Drifting's unfair. They're just plodding along. Put it that way. They're not in decline or inclining. They're just staying at the same level, which is Champions League football. And yeah, that's a very good option. Which is, even though Barcelona are in the Champions League and Arsenal aren't, I still think Arsenal's a better option than Barcelona for Raphinha. And also you'll be getting paid more in wages. Although then again, Arsenal have just signed Gabriel Jesus, so that probably means that with Bukayo Saka in front of him on the right, he probably wouldn't get as much game time as if he joined Chelsea, where they're looking to, so they play a 3-4-3, or they might change their system this season. Who knows? But in that 3-4-3, Hakim Ziyech looks like he's going to leave. They've got Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Christian Pulisic, and Werner and Pulisic, I think, are, if Chelsea got the right offer for, I think they would consider selling. So there's definitely a spot available in the Chelsea team. I think Chelsea's probably definitely a better option than Barcelona. It's just whether Chelsea would be willing to match Barcelona's offer, which, I mean, where on earth they're getting this money from is the other question, really. In terms of the rating for the Rumour, I just think it's another mistake from Barcelona, because they've, I don't know how to describe it, but they've signed so many attacking players over the past year. They've got Memphis Depay, they've got Aubameyang, they've got Ferran Torres. And do they need anyone else? I don't really think they do right now, in terms of, is it something they're absolutely desperate for? Because they need to be on a shoestring budget, sort of. They need to be bringing in more than they're putting out. And if Frankie de Jong does leave for Man United for 60-odd million, well, then they're not making a profit. They're just spending this straight away on Raphinha, which is just pointless, really, because they're going to need midfield depth. Because if they got a midfield that's like really quality, they've got Busquets, Gavi, and Pedri, and I think they've also got Kessie, but I don't think they've even been able to announce him yet because of the wage problem. So for me, for Raphinha to Barcelona, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. To be honest, I don't see it being a good move for any of the parties. I think if he was to move and somehow they managed to get him on a wage, I think he'd perform well, but I just don't think it's going to be overall good for Barcelona. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.